came up to a lesson one day, and I said to Nick, I want to strengthen my group. Because after 13 years of experience of studying and playing, I've come to find out that a lot of the times, a lot of the players I play with, they're totally not listening to one another at all. And in fact, we're all just kind of at the gig, ho-hum, just going through the motions, just another gig. And this really began to affect me after a while. So I'm at a drum lesson, and I'm playing the song Leave On by Elton John, which is one of the songs I'm going to play tonight. And by the way, just a side note, Leave On has a drummer on it. His name is Nigel Olsson, and he's been with Elton John since 1974, and he's an incredible drummer. So if there are young drummers out there who have not heard of him, definitely check him out. YouTube him. He's awesome. So there I am. I'm playing this Leave On song by Elton John, and I'm taping myself and I'm listening back, which is a process I do a lot in my lessons. And after I listened back, Nick came in the room and asked me, what'd you hear? How'd you feel about that? And I said something like, well, you know what? I haven't played this song in a while, and I don't really feel connected to the song or to the music, and I feel really tight. I'm not really sure why. And he responds by saying, well, you know what? Yeah, that's pretty much how it felt, Jen. Yeah. So then I said to him, well, that's not how I want it to feel. So, what am I doing wrong? And that's when he looked at me and he said, you're not listening. Gave me a big smile afterward. Okay. So, after he says this to me, I mean, it was like a bomb went off in my head. Within the span of 3 or 4 seconds, I felt all these different emotions. The first thing I felt was anger. What do you mean I'm not listening? Of course I'm listening. Hey, you know what? Maybe you should say that to some of the guys that I work with, because they're actually the ones who aren't listening. It's not me, right? Then I felt frustration. Why do I not have this? When am I going to get this? Then at this point, the reality of what he had said started to hit me, and it started to really hit me physically. And that's when I felt disappointment. I've been playing for 13 years, and I don't have this together yet. Then it was doubt. You know what? Maybe I'm not cut out for being a professional musician. Somebody once told me that FedEx is hiring. Maybe I should go work there. But I'm frequently reminded when they come deliver packages, I have that outfit, which is not doesn't match my outfit. So yeah, so that's not going to work. So thankfully, there's always something new to learn. And as Nick always says in our lessons, focus on the solution, don't focus on the problem. So we began to talk about how to strengthen my groove and how to focus me in on where I am in the mix. Now, how do you do that? Basically, the way you do it is you start to ask yourself questions. Questions like, am I listening? Just in general. Am I listening to the band as a whole? Am I listening to the bass player? Is my bass drum too loud? Am I playing ahead of the beat, or am I playing behind the beat? Am I playing with dynamics, or am I just playing monotone? One thing I learned that I wasn't doing was I wasn't playing my fills loud enough. I could come up in the fills, and I could bring out the sounds of the toms. So that's something I'm still working on. Am I creating peaks and valleys in the music? What I mean by that is music, like life, is not like this. There are ups and downs in life, and peaks and valleys. So this is stuff that I knew, but I had forgotten because I was in the grind of doing gig after gig after gig after gig, night after night after night after night. And what I forgot was the most important thing, which is the music. And because I forgot that, I began to create bad habits. So what I've learned is, and Ronnie said it, and well, Justin said it when he said the first step is you got to listen. What I've learned is that you have to be 100% in the moment all the time, every time you play. And that is the moment this past year where I began to reinvent myself. And my gigs this year, there was a huge change. I felt the change, I saw the change, and I heard it from people who came up to me and complimented me on the intensity and focus that I played with. And most importantly, the thing that felt, I mean, it just was great because when I got home at night, I felt good because I knew that I had given 100% of myself most of the time. And, you know, I didn't allow the habits of bad people, let me reverse that. I didn't allow the bad habits of others to affect me anymore. And this is what I'm still working on, and I'm just trying to be consistent with it. So, the last thing I'd like to leave you guys with is a quote that I read recently, and it's a quote from Steve Jobs. And I'm sure all of you probably know who he is, but if you don't know who he is, he was the founder of Apple, amongst many things. And he passed away recently, and his quote said, "Every morning I wake up, I look at myself in the mirror, and I ask myself, if today was the last day I was alive, what I want to do what I'm about to do today? And if the answer is no, too many days in a row, I know I need to make a change." Our time here is limited. Don't allow the opinions of others to drown out your own inner voice. Follow your heart and your intuition. Everything else is secondary.